We're continuing in Likutay Moharan, Torah Aleph, Chelik Sheni, Likutay Moharan Tinyan, Torah Aleph, in the middle of Siman Yud Aleph. And this is what Chizkiah was saying when he said, "Tov b'necha asisi, I did what was good in your eyes." And the rabbis in the Gemara Brachos explained that what Chizkiah Melech was referring to, that he did good in Hashem's eyes, is that he was somach gula letfila. That he pashtus in the Siddurim we have the bracha of Goel Yisrael, and we have the tefillah right afterwards, and he did that, and he also did a second thing, which was Gona Sefer Refuos. According to Pashup Pshat, it's referring to a sefer that they had at the time of Chizkiah Melech, which told everybody how the exact refuah is for each disease. So they didn't have to. They had the proper cure for every single disease in a book, and it was exact and it worked. And he was going as that. The reason why he was going as it, according to Pashup Pshat, is because he saw that people weren't trusting in Hashem properly, and they were Nevi'im at the time, and they were supposed to be going to the Nevi'im and searching out to see what Hashem wanted from them, to see how they could fix themselves in order to heal themselves, instead of just looking for a natural type of refuah, which was obviously found in the book, and they didn't have any need to fix themselves when they could just go get the refuah. So he was going to say for refuahs to cause people to come to Hashem instead of turning to a book of exact medicines. So these two things he did. That's according to Pshat. Now the way the Rebbe is explaining it, the Rebbe is explaining that kol echad, it's all one inyan. These two inyanim that he did, somach gula tefillah and being going to say for refuahs, is one inyan. The Pshat always in the Torah of the Rebbe said the Pshat always fits in perfectly with the drush that the Rebbe is explaining. Sometimes it's hard to see. Here it's much easier to see how being somach gula tefillah is exactly being going to say for refuahs, and how it fits into perfect Pshat. We're going to see. The Rebbe is explaining that through Chizkiah Melech being somach gula tefillah, which means he redeemed the tefillah, he brought the tefillah up to a perfected state, which is redemption of tefillah. And so people, like we said before, won't be mezazel in tefillah, because now people are mezazel in tefillah. Before he brought it to its proper state into kavod. And through that, he was going to say for refuahs, because kik shin nigelas at tefillah as noflim kol refuahs kanal ki nisrap mimadei dvar Hashem kanal. Because when tefillah is redeemed, when a person has proper chashivas for tefillah, when a person davens properly, then memela automatically what's going to happen is there's going to be no need for refuahs, as we explained many times before. That what happens is that the tefillah, when a person davens, all the kochos, the power of healing, which is inside the herbs, inside the medicines, they go back into Dvar Hashem, which is its source. The word of Hashem is the source for all of these medicines. Goes back into the word of Hashem, and when a person is davening, he has that word of Hashem. He's attaching himself to the word of Hashem, which is tefillah. Dvar Hashem is tefillah. So when he does that, he's able to draw the powers of refuah back into every single thing. Like bread and water, and when he eats the bread and water, he actually has the power of the refuah inside his bread and water without actually eating the herbs which the power of refuah go into. Another thing the Rebbe said is that when he does this, the power of refuah actually goes out of the plants, actually leaves the herbs, and isn't there anymore. So if a person were to come afterwards, this is the way the Rebbe says, if a person were to come afterwards and eat the plants, since the person already davened and took the power out of the plants, so then eating the plants wouldn't help you anymore, because it wouldn't make you better. Because the power, the healing power, which was implanted inside which was brought down inside the plants, as we said, which was a a step-by-step process from the word of Hashem to the angels, angels to constellations, constellations down into actually bringing the power into the power of healing into the plants. So when a person attaches himself to Dvar Hashem, the whole process is gone, and the power of the healing goes into Dvar Hashem, and through the person into the bread. I don't know if it's through the person specifically, we didn't speak about it, but the person is able to draw it from Dvar Hashem into the bread and water. And then it's not in the plants anymore. So therefore, you don't need a Sefer Refuahs anymore. So for two reasons. One is it wouldn't help you anyways, because even if you were to try to eat the Refuah, that the Refuah is gone already. The power of healing is already left, and it's already in the bread and water, or in the other, back up to Dvar Hashem. And the second reason is you don't need to come onto it. Because when you eat bread and water, it's much easier and it's much more healthy and better for many other reasons than actually eating herbs. So you don't actually need to come on to Sefer Refuahs. Another thing that happens is all the doctors are embarrassed when they try to practice medicine. Because all the medicines have lost their power, and all the medicines have given their power back into the tefillah. Shu b'chinas Dvar Hashem, which is the b'china of Dvar Hashem. Shu shorsham ha'elyon kanal, which is the root of all the power of healing, as we mentioned above. Ki ken chovas kol hasavim, kol siach hasada, k'jadav om le'isbala. And this is the obligation of every single herb and every single plant, or vegetation of the field, when a person comes to daven, that at that point he is holding on to, he is attaching himself to, he is expressing this union of Dvar Hashem, which is tefillah, which is the root of all of these powers, all of these plants' healing powers. Then these plants have to return the power of refuah back into tefillah, which is its upper source, the upper source for all of the healing powers. Now, when a person davens for a specific disease, it works in a specific way. That specific refuah, that specific medicine for that specific disease, has to bring its powers back into tefillah. So, she shorsham. It has to bring it back into the tefillah, which is shorsham, since tefillah is Dvar Hashem, and we said all the power comes from Dvar Hashem, from the word of Hashem, as mentioned above. Now, this is a very interesting point. If people were to daven for refuah for, let's say, strep throat, and let's just assume, for argument's sake, that penicillin is the cure for strep throat. So when a person davens for healing of strep throat, automatically the refuah actually leaves the medicine of strep throat, leaves penicillin. I know penicillin is not, I'm pretty sure it's not an herb per se, but I don't think I'm pretty sure the Rebbe is not speaking specifically just specifically about herbs, although there's something special about herbs in medicine. But it would come out, or maybe it would be considered a herb. I think they make it through mold and other things like that. But even natural chemicals, if there's an actual chemical that's also works in the same exact way, the power of healing goes through from Dvar Hashem to the angels and through constellations to the actual chemical. So it really would be the same thing. So if a person were to daven to Hashem for refuah, let's say for strep throat, he would take out the healing power from all the strep throat and bring it into tefillah and into the bread and water that the person is going to eat. If the whole world were to daven like that, then strep throat, nobody could ever turn to penicillin to get healed from strep throat. It just wouldn't work anymore. So it would be much better though, because we'd be able to eat bread, and it would be much. It would be turning to Hashem and attaching ourselves to the source of healing instead of to the chemical, aspects of the plant in healing, the power, the spiritual power which is invested inside the plants or the herbs that heal a person with medicine. So, this is the beginning of the union of Yitzchak going out to daven in the field. He davened with the vegetation of the field. Shekol siach hasada chozer kocham v'nosnu osam b'soch tefilasa. That when he did this, all of the powers of all of the plants put their had to give back their power into the Dvar Hashem, Shishor Shem Kanal, and because Dvar Hashem is its root. Now the Rebbe has a different Torah, Torah Yud Aleph, later on in Chilik Shein, Tinyana, that he speaks about the fact that how, I'm going to read it here inside, I have the quotes here. This is now a quote from Torah Yud Aleph in Likutay Moharan Tinyana later on. As I call asavim kulum by misochatfilah, when a person davens inside a field, then all the vegetation, all the plant life, all of them take their powers and go into a person's tefillah and help a person to daven. And give a person extra power and strength in his davening. And this is how the tefillah is called siach, which comes from the word of from the lashon of type of word called speech, similar to the word speech, which is bechinas siach hasada, the plant life of the field, or it can also be understood as siach is speech of the field, or conversation of the field. That the reason why this word siach hasada has like two meanings, or could be interpreted in two different ways, it's because all the siach hasada, all the plant vegetation of the field, give its power into a person's tefillah. And this is also, again, the Rebbe is explaining this pasuk. The Yitzchak went out to daven in the field. Yitzchak went out to daven in the field. All of the plant life actually helped in his tefillahs. And this is also why tefillah itself is called siach, which is the same word that is used by the sada, which is siach hasada.